everyone, it is Esther here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be finally talking about a film that has taken over my life recently, and that is Call Me By Your Name. Now, when I first watched this film, I thought it was a pretentious piece of crap, with its multilingual dialogue, classical score, and people talking about how smart they are. I really believed this film was not for me. To be fair, I was around 15 at the time, and not to be annoying, but I think upon rewatching this film, having experienced more in my life and being more mature than I was before, I think this film is for people at least 17 or older. The same mature yet clueless age of Elio. I first watched this film with my best friend Savannah. We were having a sleepover after going to the cinema to see Love, Simon, a simpler love story that our young minds could handle. And when we were outside the cinema setting and in my bedroom, we spent the entire 2 hours talking over it. I found the film boring and trying too hard to be intelligent, the sad love story as unrealistic rather than true to life. I even read the book before watching the film. I hated it so much I threw it across the room after finishing it. And here I am, 2 years later, and absolutely fucking obsessed with it. I decided one night while scrolling through Netflix to take a chance and watch it, and I cried my eyes out. A few days later, and I'd seen the film 3 times over already, and I hardly ever rewatch films, but this one just had me wanting so much more that I had to watch it over and over again to see if I missed anything the past 2 times. So let's start from the beginning. The love story. Now that I'm 17 and a little bit more knowledgeable about life, at least that's what I tell myself, I feel like I understand why this story had to be so heartbreaking. Elio is 17, Oliver is 24. They're at different stages of life, and Elio knows nothing about love. When it comes to girls, it's easy for him because he's been around Marzia his whole life, and he feels a strong connection to her as a friend. As for Oliver, he's new, a man older than him, yet younger than his father. He knows about life and love, and Elio idolizes him. That's not to say the two aren't in love, just in different ways. Oliver keeps his distance for a while and keeps guilty whenever he even touches Elio because he's scared of hurting him. Elio needs Oliver. He's broken without him as he's too young to know what he really wants. And Oliver leaves him because he has to. Not only for the reason that he has to go back to the real world, but also because he can't become too attached because they would never work as a couple. In the dreamlike world of summer, they can be Elio and Oliver, but outside of that, they would be torn apart. Director Luca Guadagnino shows their hidden romance through his cinematography. In the sex scenes between Oliver and Marzia, we see everything. It almost feels exploitative. Whereas with Elio and Oliver, the camera is pushed away or hiding behind objects to give them privacy. As Elio is our main character, he is keeping some things for himself for the audience not to see. Perhaps due to his embarrassment of his sexuality or that he is just shy in general. Many see the relationship between Oliver and Elio as creepy, seeing as Oliver is so much older than him. I've seen people compare this film to Lolita, which is absolutely ridiculous. In Lolita, a middle-aged man kidnaps a 12-year-old girl and rapes her multiple times over the course of 2 years. Call Me By Your Name, however, is a summer fling between two confused people, and their ages are almost irrelevant due to the legal age in Italy being 16. Oliver states many times he doesn't want to hurt Elio or corrupt him in some way, and we already know Elio is a sexual character as he sleeps with Marzia multiple times before he sleeps with Oliver. Oliver is simply there for Elio to discover his interest in men. In fact, the film barely lets us into the mind of Oliver at all because his very existence in the story is for Elio's benefit, even the bad parts, like when he leaves him at the end. It teaches him a lesson about growing up and the sadness that comes with it. If Guadagnino were to make a sequel, I would be happy for Oliver not to return at all, and instead let us into Elio's mind more as he grows up. Now on to the performances. Timothée Chalamet really stole the show with his performance as the awkward yet impulsive Elio. His movements are often quick and spontaneous, especially when he's around Oliver. He's quiet, thoughtful, and very intelligent for his age, but for the most part he hides his emotions. It's no wonder why this film sparked this man's career, since Chalamet has displayed his talents in films such as Lady Bird, The King, and his upcoming Little Women, which I am so excited for. Plus, next year he's working with one of my favourite directors, Wes Anderson. It's not a surprise that audiences adore him, as he really does have an amazing talent. Another important aspect that makes this film so beautiful is the score and original songs Mystery of Love and Visions of Gideon by Sufjan Stevens. Two absolutely heartbreakingly gorgeous songs that help mold the film as such an art piece. And on to my final point, the directing itself. This film is so goddamn beautiful. From the title sequence to the very end shot, Guadagnino manages to cram in so many gorgeous shots that I would gladly hang on my wall. The ones that stick in my mind are of that of Elio sunbathing in the foreground with his pool, and Oliver in the background, this bicycle shot, the peach tree, and so many more that it would take hours to name them all. The film spans over 2 hours, however, I never find myself getting bored while watching it, despite having seen it 3 times already this week. If anything, it leaves you wanting to repeat watching until you've spotted every single little detail in the film, and I don't believe I'm even close to fulfilling my compulsive need to rewatch this film. And so we find ourselves at the end of this insane rambling discussion of what I can only call one of my new favourite films of all time, Call Me By Your Name. What did you think of this film? Is it creepy? Pretentious? Does Timothy's acting get on your nerves, or is it incredible? Please tell me in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Esther, and I am signing out. That was really cringy, and I'm sorry. Goodbye!